Monolith Films Podcast.
Oh, welcome back to the Monolith Film Podcast.
Yeah, welcome back indeed.
We just finished watching The French Dispatch twice.
Yeah.
Once me and Lee, second time with Nick.
I showed up 20 minutes left of the first
Yeah,
viewing,
yeah.
probably. Yeah.
Due to traffic issues.
And me misreading the text.
It's
The
fine.
two reasons.
Fine, I didn't mind watching it twice. So I actually liked it more the second time, like as we said.
Yeah, good second viewing, definitely.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think?
Oh, Dante, I think you might have enjoyed it the most out of
Yeah.
the three of us. Do you want to give a little summary or some kind of synopsis?
Sure.
or something
So, The French Dispatch is a movie by Wes Anderson, featuring Timothée Chalamet. Who else is in the movie? Bill Murray. Owen Wilson.
Hey, we're recording over here.
Yeah, we're fucking recording and someone stole something at the Montreal Forum.
Malaysian Forum.
Who else is starring in the film? A bunch of other
A
pricks.
lot of people, yeah.
Who's that? Who plays,
The guy Bernard from fucking Westworld is at the end of the movie.
I fucking knew I
I remember what his
knew
name
him.
is, but yeah, he was played in Westworld. Excuse the siren in the back. I don't know if something
Yeah, is this
happened.
even going to be usable?
Probably not now, no. I mean, we can see the waveforms, but this is going to be in the background.
Okay, well fuck it. I'll keep talking.
Yeah,
Benicio del Toro,
yeah.
Adrian Brody, of course,
Yeah, the chick from Death Stranding.
Tilda
Isn't it?
Swinton.
Yeah. There you go. It's done. The movie's about a newspaper in Henri, France, and the editor-in-chief dies. The owner of the newspaper dies. Are you fucking serious? Call this,
It
bro.
was good timing, though, at least. Right in
Yeah.
between.
Sorry, the siren's back on it again. Anyways, so for the final publication, they're gonna publicize 3 articles, right? Well, I assume 3 of the best articles, along with the for the death of the newspaper, right? As like a little booklet,
The obituary.
the obituary.
But there was one missing, right? Because in the first
Yeah,
act, when they're talking about what they're gonna kill, which story they're gonna kill,
yeah.
they name 4 stories, but we only get to see 3 of them.
No, there are 4 stories.
That little
The first one's Owen Wilson talking about
Okay,
the city.
so there are 5 stories. Because we missed the one about the homeless people and the junkies and stuff like that.
What do you mean?
Or is that the Owen Wilson one?
I think
That's
that
the
was-
Owen Wilson
yeah.
one.
Okay,
Just
really?
like a
Because I felt like there was
broad
something.
town.
The Owen Wilson one, they even say at the beginning it's introduction to Henri, and they say
No, no,
300
no.
words.
Yeah.
So it's short, you know.
But
Yeah.
I feel like because they started with him. They started with Cesarec,
yeah, yeah,
who's Owen Wilson's
Owen
character.
Wilson,
They
yeah.
start with his story when they're listing the stories to cut,
yeah.
and then they move on to someone else's story, and then they move on to someone else's story, and there's a 4th author, 4th journalist whose story we never see.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
I mean, that doesn't really matter. I'm just saying.
I guess it's a good catch by you, bro. But anyway, so each story, they publicize 4 stories. The first one featuring Owen Wilson he's talking about the city of Henri in 300 words. I wonder if he actually said 300 words
I don't know.
because it says 300 words. Anyways,
That
then the second one is about an artist named something Rosenthal.
Moses
Rosenthal.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing, like, I like their comment on arts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
Anyway.
think that first story is my favorite.
Yeah, the first story is really good. Second story is about it's where Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah.
It's politics, and it's about like this little revolution that happened in Henri, where students protested against the city, and they used chess as negotiation, so as some sort of negotiation tactic.
I mean, their main point was to give the boys free access to the girls' dormitory.
Yeah,
right? That's
exactly.
how
That's how all
started.
started. Guys thinking with their dicks, you know.
I think that was the least strong out of all the stories.
Really?
Was
Yeah?
that one? Yeah, I found I wasn't really into that one. I found
Really?
it pretty heavy-handed and just going. Okay.
I'm kind of a romantic, so I really liked that. Like the second I saw the dynamic with Timothée Chalamet's character and the girl
Yeah.
with the Astro Boy helmet and
Yeah.
on, I was like, dude, they're gonna fuck by the end of this act for
That
sure.
girl is Juliet, played
Juliet,
by
exactly.
Lena Kudry.
She's gorgeous, by the way.
I agree.
I had a big crush on her the whole film.
Who, Timothy?
Yeah, Timothy.
He's pretty cute too.
Yeah, he's pretty cute too. And also, I forgot to add, each of these stories, as they're being told in the movie, are being told from the perspective of the
Author.
writer of said story, while they're there interacting, doing these things, right?
Yeah. Kind of jumps back and forth in time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The third story, the fourth story, quote unquote,
Yeah.
is with the guy Bernard from Westworld. I always
Yeah.
forget his name, but he is like a food writer, and he talks about this lieutenant who's also a chef for the police commissioner, and this crazy adventure they had when the police commissioner was threatened with the kidnapping of his son for some sort of negotiation, and the chef is a big part of that and stuff like that. Even though he only says one word.
I felt like that was the weakest story. That was
I
my
agree.
least favorite.
Yeah,
I thought it was Lucas as well.
I found it more dynamic, at least.
Yeah?
And if he was going for kind of, this kind of
Yeah.
little blocks of stories and style all mashed together and stuff. That one I kind of like full split screens and stuff, and I like
That's true.
kind of things. But I don't know, that second story didn't hit it off with me. This, I think, is where I'm going to cut in the first segment of the podcast that we recorded earlier.
Okay.
Sure.
And now we're back,
There we go.
guys. That was a good interlude.
There we go. For me, I obviously really like the art story because I'm an artist, and
Yeah.
a lot of the things they talk about are very, very. I don't want to say relevant, but they're very
resonated.
accurate. It's extremely
Yeah.
accurate. When I saw him with all the paint all over him, with the paintbrushes, that's exactly how I was in uni, except I had less clothes on. I was in my underwear the whole time. The second story, the thing is, there's a part of each story that's kind of surreal in a way for me, like abstract and not part of the actual world. Like when they're negotiating with chess, I feel like that was a normal thing,
Right.
And for the third story, you know how we were talking about for the fourth story for the police chit.
Yeah.
We said we didn't like that. Yeah, so for the final story, half of it is done in bande dessinée, which is cartoons in French, and there's a very specific style that goes with that.
Yeah, it looks like Tintin.
Yeah, it looks like Tintin
Yeah.
or Tintin, and all of French cartoonism is a lot like the iconography of the film.
It grew on me the second time around. The animation, I'll be honest.
It grew on me, but I don't want to say I know why he did it, but I have an idea of why he might have went animated for that whole part, because that's the most action scene I've ever
Right.
seen in the fucking Wes Anderson film,
Yeah.
by far. Car chase, guns everywhere, Michael Bay shit.
Yeah.
And I don't think he knew how to do it.
I think you always need a cartoon in a magazine, too.
That's true.
You
That's
always need
actually
a
very
little
true.
cartoon section or a little humor
Yeah.
section.
That's actually such a good point.
Yeah, always right at the end, a little one.
It's a
panel,
very important
darkly-
part of newspapering, is
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Okay, so I stand corrected. I guess that's a thematic choice, but
But I think it also got him out of a lot of trouble with trying to shoot all that.
yeah, fuck. I don't think Wes Anderson's ever done a car chase like that.
No.
With
It's
those
ski
kind of
chase.
shots.
Yeah.
But he could,
The
yeah,
ski chase.
with those
Yeah, but the
types-
ski chase
yeah.
was just this.
And close ups.
Yeah.
And close-ups.
That's what I was gonna say. He could have done. He works a lot with close-ups. He could have easily done a lot of those
But
close-ups.
the thing, I like that he
miniatures, too.
didn't do
Yeah.
such a Wes Anderson style chase. And he tried actually doing an actual fucking chase, but I don't
Yeah.
think he knew how to do it well as a director, so he just bande dessinée the whole thing. Yeah. And that's the film, really. I guess we're starting off. The security guards are coming towards us. I think they're going to kick us out.
Nah, we're fine. We'll ask them what they thought.
Guys, could you just have masks on?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, thanks.
And we usually close at this time right now here.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you so much. They just told us to put our masks on. They're not kicking us out. Anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I gave a little synopsis, but fucking love the movie. I think it was great as an artistic thing. It's warning, it's super artsy. It's super artsy. It's not so straightforward.
But I mean, that's what people like about Wes Anderson.
That's what
too,
people like
so
about Wes Anderson, yeah.
I
Because
find.
he's a bit more accessible, artsy filmmaker, you know?
Right.
Who has more of a straightforward story. But this one wasn't as straightforward as all his other movies in terms of the storyline, you know? And I really fucking loved it. I don't know. It was great. Way better than Dune.
Well, yeah, I all 100% agree with that.
Yeah. I like Dune a lot. I thought it was a good movie, but
Yeah.
this kind of kicks Dune's ass in a bunch
Really?
of ways.
I
yeah.
think I gotta disagree with you guys.
Really?
I think I gotta flip it around on you guys. Is I found the like the kind of story that we were being told, or the few stories that were being told, they're like I've seen them in other Wes Anderson movies and stuff, where there's always a kind of father-son story or some kind of relationship between a father and son. I don't know the
Love
examples
stories.
right now. Yeah, like young love kind of things, and it's always like a heartwarming kind of end to it. And I don't know, I wasn't taken out of the Wes Anderson bubble at all. I was like, okay, I've seen this before. I know kind of how this
Yeah.
plays out. And like normally, I think a movie where the style would be so shocking or changing throughout, you go, oh wow, this is very interesting. They're using it to tell different kind of moments.
It's
like,
I know what you're getting at.
yeah, well, like
Yeah.
it works. I think in parts where the guy's like, "Oh, are your eyes blue?" and it cuts the color, and you see the girl's blue eyes.
Yeah.
and you go, "Okay, that's a fun little moment
Yeah.
where it changes style for a fun reason." But other times, I found like the reasons didn't really matter as much. Like the cartoon, we said that makes sense, I guess. with the
Yeah,
end of the
thematically
thing.
with the newspaper idea, yeah.
But in other moments where it switches to, I don't know, you have one. I can't think of a moment exactly, but in that first art story,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we kind of switch between color and this, and
Yeah.
it's for the sake of the painting, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's exactly it.
But even then, I didn't find that it was justified enough to take us out so much stylistically. Like I wasn't tied into the story enough to jump out of it and in back again. Like maybe it was a full-length thing instead of 3 shorts together. I would have gone, okay, this is just the one little interlude in the story, or 3 shots that are out of the style
Right.
that tell something else. But in this, the things were so compressed and quick and little blocks.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into the characters as much as I would as if it were a 2-hour movie or something.
Yeah.
It's like I enjoyed the movie and the style of the movie and the idea behind the whole thing.
Yeah.
But seeing it played out, I said, you know, I would have liked a little expansion on each of the stories. And maybe if each of them were another 15 minutes or something.
I agree, but also they're articles.
Yeah,
That's what I was
exactly.
gonna say,
Yeah.
'Cause Isn't that what makes a good article? Is the writer wants you to
Concise.
want more?
Yeah, I guess.
You know?
Yeah.
The point
Yeah.
of a newspaper or magazine is to leave the reader wanting more, so they subscribe and pay for the next issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense that the stories in the movie would leave you wanting more as well.
But also
Yeah.
articles are short too.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It is more of an anthology than a movie.
Yeah, I think it makes
Certainly.
perfect sense, like thematically like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Where it's a perfect reference and perfect mirror to the thing. But
Yeah.
in the medium of the theater, and we sit down and we watch a
Right.
movie, you want to be enthralled completely. I felt taken out each few times, not by style only, but
Right.
I don't know.
I
Sometimes
feel like
dialogue and things.
it would have helped if there was more scenes at the actual French Dispatch office.
That could be it. Yeah.
You know, of the characters, the journalists doing their thing.
Yeah.
Because at one point, like after the Timothy Chalamet story, with the politics, it doesn't. There's no in between at the journalism office.
Yeah.
There
Well,
was,
the publisher, the editor, the guy in charge, Bill Murray's character,
Yeah.
just walks into her office, sits down, picks up the article.
And leave.
That's
and
true.
then
That's
it.
yeah. That's
he,
it.
He
really.
always has like a little comment, but he just picked up the article and started reading, and then it cut to
Yeah.
the next one.
Actually, no, I'm wrong. The one there was nothing in between was the food story with the police and the obituary.
No, there's definitely one too.
Was
he
there?
sits down in his office and he says, "Well, the cook doesn't even have any dialogue," and then the guy says,
Oh, that's true. Okay, no,
yeah,
I'm
he
just
does.
stupid. I don't
just
know.
cut it out."
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, no. Even then, I still feel like if there was more scenes in the French Dispatch office, and we got attached to the characters, the writers as characters more, maybe that would have helped.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like we're supposed to treat the French Dispatch as the character and not
Yes.
the journalists.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like putting too much backstory into the actual writers and the people working at the French Dispatch would just take away from the larger
The story.
concept of the movie.
Journalistic neutrality.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to bring up the argument that it might work better as like a limited series
Oh, for sure.
anthology type thing.
Yeah.
But I also feel like that kind of discredits what Wes Anderson was trying to do. Because surely, if he wanted to make an anthology limited series about this newspaper, he could have,
Yeah.
right? But he chose to make it a movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's assuming that he's right.
Right.
He
Yeah.
could be wrong, and
That's
it would
true.
be way better as an anthology. I think
That's
it would
true.
be better as an anthology like that. Yeah,
Yeah, but then you might be desensitized to the like it'd be too normalized. I find, you know.
style.
Yeah, because the thing is, I feel like the Henri place is like not real.
Okay.
Like I don't know if Henri is an actually real place there, but it felt like Henri had its own unique universe.
Well, is it
Just in
spelled?
that city.
Is it spelled the same as the word Henri in French?
I don't. No, it's ENNUI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that? Is there anything there to what I'm saying? Henri, the word?
At night.
No, like when you miss someone. Henri.
Oh.
You know. Okay, so this is what I was gonna get into.
Yeah.
I feel like this. You guys ever read a really fucking good article?
No,
Like you never read a really fucking good article?
never in my life, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. Except for one, I never got to read it, and that's why it was so good. It was an article called "The Internet Has Made Reading Impossible."
Okay.
And when you try and click on the article,
But
and
yeah,
try to
there's
read
articles like
there's
that.
just ads and pop-ups and sign up for this and do this,
That's
and I'm like,
fun.
oh, that's funny. I get it.
Yeah. But there's a couple times where I've read a really good article either from Vice, Al Jazeera, or whatever kind of thing, and it was really fucking good. And it's rare. You don't find good articles that much, especially today. You know.
Yeah.
But for example, like I found one on Vice like 7 years ago of an ex-Muslim who would go out eating pork and he would log everything and he wrote articles about it.
Yeah.
That was
Just
hilarious.
About him eating pork.
Him eating pork sober and high. It was
Is that a
amazing.
euphemism?
No, like literally eating pork. and the thing, what I'm trying to say is that I feel like this movie was kind of like a love letter to really good journalism. You know,
Yeah,
and good
sure.
writing, good journalism.
Yeah.
Which is a thing that's kind of dying out.
Yeah.
Big time, you know?
Right. Definitely.
It's very romantic, though.
Yeah, it's very romantic.
Very, very romantic. And like for a place like that kind of idealized French kind of old world city,
Yeah.
I thought that it worked better, or like European old world kind of thing. I thought that the kind of nostalgia worked better in the Budapest Hotel than
Yeah.
this one. I thought that the hotel, I'd rather live there than in this little French town.
Really?
I found it would, more exciting. It's more of a full picture.
Well, like they
of the
even
thing.
say that right in the first story. And he's like, why don't you talk about the flowers or something positive, you know?
I guess,
In
yeah.
the town. You're just talking about how shit this town is, you
Yeah.
know? But the thing is with I don't know what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, no, what I was gonna say is that like each story, like I said at the end of the first watching, it's very French.
Yeah.
You know, you got art, you got revolution, you got food.
Yeah.
Three extremely and cities. You know, old cities
Yeah.
that are filled with rats, baguettes, and it smells like shit. Those are four things that are distinctly French as fuck, you know?
Smelling like shit.
But as
Yeah.
romantic as the movie is, it's also making fun of all those things.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Because
Well,
the painting, the art one,
Very subtly, yeah.
yeah, they're kind of what's the word? Deconstructing modern art,
Yeah.
and you know, it's also just like some dude in a fucking prison using whatever prison ingredients he could find, and he's painting on the wall.
Yeah.
You know, and the revolution is about horny boys more than anything else,
Yeah.
and the cuisine one is actually just about a gunfight.
Yeah. And even then, it's like, you know how the dishes they talk about in the cuisine one?
Yeah,
They're like really fine dining dishes.
yeah.
But like, who the fuck is eating that to feed a fucking workforce, you know?
Right.
And what the police commissioner has his own Michelin star chef in the back, you know? No one.
Yeah, that's it. Like they're doing a cuisine review, but they're specifically doing police cuisine,
Yeah.
which is, as far as I know, not a real thing.
No, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying earlier with like the Ennui like, being its own universe.
Yeah.
So maybe that is a thing
Yeah.
in that little universe,
Yeah.
But very, it's probably the most Wes Anderson movie I've watched by Wes Anderson.
Yes, I agree with that. I think he's refined his style fully, and I think his next movie will be bad.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to be on the decline from now on.
Well, you kind of always go to the farthest end, and then you start like.
Yeah,
Dialing it back.
he
making
went
fun of
Wes
yourself,
Anderson
like,
to the limit
Yeah.
with his style in this fucking film. Big time.
Yeah, I think that the limit of the style, though.
Yeah,
I kind of think
yeah,
we
it's
felt
true.
it in this movie.
Yeah, it was a bit excessive too.
Sometimes,
A bit. Sometimes I wanted a break from the super centered cuts and the really linear camera movements or whatever.
I mean, the fucking set design was beautiful. in this
Amazing.
film.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
I love that it was
man.
pretty much all practical. If
Yeah.
the part with the fucking cats on the roofs, I bet you there was a billion cats there.
yeah. No, that was fucking amazing. That was more like a play shot than
Yes.
anything.
A lot
the
of-
backgrounds
yeah.
moving and the
Yeah.
dynamic sets.
Yeah. Another great scene is when the young Moses Rosenthal sat down and takes a mouthwash, and he gets up and the old one
Yeah.
sits down, and they
pretty
transfer
cool.
the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before, and it was amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was
There's
really cool.
a few one-liners that got me both times.
Oh yeah.
Like when it says 3 years later on the screen, and then the guy says, "It's been 3 years."
yeah.
Love that.
Another one too we were talking about is I said don't criticize my manifesto. She said take off your clothes.
The "Don't criticize my manifesto" is hilarious.
Yeah. That's also kind of like making fun of that kind of
Yeah, exactly.
Marxist student generation. I find a little bit,
I mean, I hope that's a joke, though. It is just not super pretentious. Just fucking.
No, that's it for
It
sure.
has to be a
It has to
joke.
be a joke. He literally
It's
hands
too much.
he hands a writer his manifesto to be criticized, and the first
Yeah.
thing he says is, "Don't criticize my
Yeah.
manifesto."
Do we know? You know what's crazy is that I feel like a lot of hipsters are gonna watch the movie and they have no idea that he's probably
Yeah.
making fun of them. Because also they all, like when they're at the cafe and he's talking about all these people, I was like. The screws to their bowls, the rocks to their sticks.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, and the way we talk is French with a little bit of Latin and just like and philosophical jargon with
Hand
sign
movements.
language hand
Yeah.
movements. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, if anyone spoke to me like that, I think I'd slap them.
But that's what I mean. Like he's like the whole movie is romanticizing all of these aspects of life, but also very fully making
fun of them. Yeah, for sure.
I think they're making fun of him because Wes Anderson loves it so much. And
Yeah.
he's the little guy doing
Yeah,
the
that's
hand
it.
movements and stuff.
Yeah.
The other line was the silly goose one.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, "Did you mentally mark the page?" "Of course I did, you silly goose."
Well, no, it's not even that, but it's like just after it cut to black and white, and he looked all sad and
Yeah.
depressed. It cuts back into color where he's talking about the interview. He's like, "Did you mark the page?" He's like, "Of course I did, you silly goose." And they
Love
keep
it.
going. It was really good.
I found that TV show kind of segment a bit too quick cut. That one.
Yeah, I don't know why they had the TV show segment. I don't know why they didn't just do his story like the others.
Well, in the art one, it was the writer giving a symposium.
Yeah, at the art museum.
Yeah.
What was the second one? The second one was
The second one was fully just
just
the girl,
her in there, yeah.
just her narrating it.
yeah.
Travelogue as well, I think, was just narration.
Yeah,
I don't think there was. Or Owen was it? Oh no, he was biking through town.
He was biking,
and then,
yeah.
and then he munches
it was
it.
kind of a ride along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like. I wasn't crazy about the talk show or the museum symposium. Like both of those things, I felt like it just became like it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be reading the article,
Yeah.
but we're hearing the writer of the article narrate the article from the perspective of a talk show or symposium. Like it's just too many degrees of separation from the article
Yeah.
to the movie, I thought.
Yeah.
That's why I liked the Timothy Chalamet story a lot, because it didn't have that. It was just you are watching the article.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I would have preferred, because I didn't care for the symposium at all.
Right, same.
There was nothing, I was offered nothing in the symposium.
Yeah,
you
a
know?
couple gags.
Yeah, she takes a little drink after.
We see her naked.
See her naked, and she talks about how the Moses wanted to fuck her brains out. You know.
Yeah.
And in the food one, the only gag in the food one was the cut to the fucking tooth commercial guy.
Yeah,
you know, Gemini tooth thing.
That did get me. I actually laughed at that. So
yeah, I
I'll give
enjoyed
them
that,
one.
but that's the only thing I found rewarding about that one.
That one joke about advertising.
Yeah, the one joke about advertising. Yeah. What do you guys think about the performances?
I mean, I thought they were pretty in line with what he's done before.
Okay.
The other kind of straight, stocky,
Yeah.
little awkward kind of performances, but
Okay.
in the world it works together and it doesn't stand out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you think, Lee?
Yeah, same. I mean, like I mentioned before, I think Timothy Chalamet is the only one who stands out. And it's really just that scene where he's in bed.
Where he
with-
yells.
When he yells at her?
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I kind of like the
Really,
yelling.
I find that kind of... Not even when he yells, but, like, he's too, like... I don't know. Like, even after, when he, like, snaps back, and he's like... So you've written 1,000 pages already? And he's all, like, coy about
Yeah.
it. I don't know.
He's being Timothy Chalamet.
It's just, I feel like he's presenting emotions that we just haven't seen in a Wes Anderson movie before.
Yeah. No,
Because
yeah.
the yelling didn't bother me that much because, what's the guy's name who's in all of them with the weird nose? No offense to him. He
Yeah,
plays the art,
Indian guy there. He's
no,
also
no.
in the commercials on YouTube.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I see him in some banking commercials.
He plays the,
I know who you're
the
talking
guy,
about, yeah.
Adrian Brody is who I'm talking about. The guy who buys the painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adrian Brody.
Yeah, he yells a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
he's
that
like,
didn't throw me off.
yeah, no, it didn't.
No.
Yeah.
Or he just yells to camera.
Yeah,
Versus
yeah,
the
like
sky.
that didn't bother me.
Yeah.
That didn't bring me out of it. I don't know. There's just something about fucking Timothy Chalamet was just playing. I think that's it. He was just playing on emotions that I haven't seen in a Wes Anderson movie before. And it
But is that a
felt
bad
weird.
thing or a good
No,
thing?
I think it was just weird. It was
just
off-putting
weird?
the first time.
Okay.
The second time, it didn't bother me as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was more just startled by him yelling. I was like, oh. Timothy
Yeah.
Chalamet. Come toilet. Okay, here's one thing too. I think that's the first bilingual movie I've ever watched.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
Like that's like perfectly bilingual, intentionally bilingual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not just like some guy goes to a different country and a bunch of other people
Yeah.
talk like that. This is like intentionally bilingual, and I really like it. Like I love the play between the French and the English, especially since I understood it. you know?
Yeah, that was nice too. Yeah, of course we have that advantage.
Yeah, we have that advantage. But I also like the way they do Wes Anderson of subtitles. You know,
Yeah.
it's very creative.
I wish when they were speaking French, the subtitles were also French, though. I know that limits his audience
Yeah.
a lot, but I find it, as someone who is bilingual, I always find it jarring hearing French but reading English, and then I get confused and I have to pick one.
Yeah, I got confused a couple times too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the first viewing, I stuck to reading the subtitles. And then the second viewing, I ignored the subtitles.
I did the
completely,
exact same thing.
And I preferred ignoring the subtitles.
Me too.
There's a subtlety to the French language that he uses well, I find.
Yeah, and like you know the scene that specifically makes me think of that is you know
The
when they're
electric
having
chair.
what?
The electric chair?
Not the electric chair.
Okay.
Well, that's one of them because she talks really well French.
Yeah.
But it was the one where there were the chef on Nescafe was making the dinner during the shootout,
Yeah.
like inside, and he's going over the plans as they're talking
Yes.
about the food. But the English guy is talking about the food dish, but whatever actor with Bernard from Westworld, they're talking French, and the subtitles for them talking are in English.
Yeah.
And they're discussing battle plans.
Yeah.
But I'm focusing on the food. It was too
I agree.
confusing.
Yeah. Both times, I completely ignored the battle plans.
Same.
I was like,
I had no
fuck it.
idea what the fuck was
I'm
going
not
on
trying
both
too
times.
hard.
Yeah. Nick was asleep.
Yeah. I think normally in a movie like that where you'd have some kind of different language in it, I prefer to not have any kind of understanding of what the language is at all, unless I understood the language.
Right.
So I try and pick up little words here and there and just understand through the direction and the...
Yeah.
Usually I agree with you,
Scene.
but this is the first one where I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Because I like that there's two languages, and it's like if you're bilingual, it works perfectly.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
perfect. Yeah. But even if it was like in Chinese or something,
Yeah.
I'd go, okay, leave the subtitles out. I want to hear them just speak Chinese and understand
Yeah, but
through the...
I think
Usually-
it depends on the characters too. If the character is supposed to be able to understand the language, I think the audience should,
Yeah.
or at least it should be written in a way that the audience understands through the character later.
Yeah, I think it should be directed in a way that you can understand.
Right? Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah. But like,
The thing is with most movies where it's bilingual like that, or most movies that are bilingual where they have like Japanese people and English main characters, usually if they're speaking another language, you're not supposed to understand. You're supposed to ignore it.
right.
And just it's supposed to just be foreign language talk. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
This actually has a lot of important dialogue that's in a different language. So that's why I disagree, because it's a big distinction, you know?
Yeah.
And that's really it.
Like, what was that movie? Only God Forgives, I think, when we watched that movie.
Yeah.
The first time we watched it, no subtitles, nothing like that.
Yeah.
And it was like so beautiful, so poetic when you'd watch like a 10-minute long scene, not understand a single word, and just close-ups, dramatic close-ups of people talking and everything. And I felt more in it in something like that.
Okay.
This is normally just in general, though, with
Yeah, yeah,
subtitles and stuff. But in this movie here, I thought they were really well integrated into the
Environment,
the
yeah.
frame
Yeah.
itself. When they're building the frame, he's always got the blocks.
The
flat.
really creative one was at the radio with Ed Norton,
Yeah.
hearing them talk about their battle plans, and has like the line of the radios in the middle.
Yeah.
And there's a part on top, the part on bottom, then it zooms out, and the subtitles zoom out with you.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that zoom out jarred me also, though.
Yeah.
I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was kind of thrown to a bit with some of the choices in direction, where a few of the times we'd see these long zooms into just like a perfect zoom in and out, and then most of the other time you just see a punch in,
Yeah.
where you just have the big frame and go to a smaller one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I prefer more regular cuts like
Okay.
that. Something more regular. Is like you gotta limit yourself somehow.
Yeah.
When you're making some kind of art thing, so you go, okay, these are the boundaries of this thing, so it's not just crazy all over the
Right.
place. There's
Yeah.
some kind of order to it, even if it's supposed to be all crazy, like
Yeah.
in.
I think only doing cuts like that, or not the traditional way you're saying. I mean, like doing cuts all crazy,
Yeah.
only really works if you use it for comedic effect.
Okay.
Like Edgar Wright or something.
Yeah.
He'll do those like fast cuts, boom, 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 boom,
Okay,
and then
yeah.
this guy sits down, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, like, I don't know, what was the guy? Only God Forgives Nicholas Winding Refn there.
Okay.
He would only have maybe a handful of camera movements
Yeah.
and kind of
Yeah.
stylistic cutting kind of things that he would draw from in his toolbox. I felt like this toolbox might have been a bit too big
Yeah.
in the things you can pick. And like maybe if the story was larger, like if it's fucking Kill Bill 6 hours or something, where we have different styles
Yeah.
in it like that, you go, okay, it's 6 fucking hours. Switch it up a bit. I'm getting bored of just the normal
Right.
thing. But something
Yeah.
like this where it's quick, half an hour stories, 20-minute stories, 5-minute travelogue at the beginning, you know, maybe, you know,
Yeah.
loosen that toolbox a bit, lighten the tools in it, lighten the load, and make it a bit more, not succinct, but more toned down maybe than what was in it. That's just what I'm thinking
Yeah.
with like amount of cuts and stuff. But what was the trailer for a Michael Bay movie or something we watched in there?
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be every tool
Yeah.
in the box,
Yeah.
plus taking everything else and
Yeah.
just cutting like a madman and
Yeah. Every
just
time someone shoots a bullet, change. Yeah.
overhead slow-mo.
Yeah, I would have
everything.
liked a bit more longer takes.
Yeah.
It'd been nice.
I like longer takes too. But is that was the editing style of this movie any different from Wes Anderson's other movies?
No,
No.
but it was faster.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
don't
it was
remember.
faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
So too.
I don't
think
remember his movies that well.
TV section was like twice as fast, I found, as
Okay.
other.
It was extremely fast, yeah.
Side profile like this.
Okay, I
It was
noticed.
very fast.
Yeah. Like I felt like, you know, these kind of, like, you're not supposed to believe that this is a real world that
Right.
you're in. Like you'd go, okay, I'm going to put it on 45 wide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to punch into there. And you keep the angle a little bit and you change the
Yeah.
focal length a little bit. These are so harsh, the cuts.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, I forget the
There was
word.
other
you
than
know?
those zooms, there was nothing really dynamic.
No.
You know.
Yeah.
And I would appreciate, because I like really long shots.
Yeah.
Blade Runner 2049 shots, you know?
Yeah.
And there was almost none in this movie.
The most dynamic you get would be dollies, the lateral
Yeah.
dollies. That
Yeah,
are
that's
super
really
long or
it.
Something, yeah.
But even then, that's still too much movement
Yeah. Well, it's
for
never
a
like,
steady, static,
Yeah.
long, just portrait shot or
Yeah.
something, you know?
like even when it's super deep focus and you have a guy's head at the bottom of the frame and someone in the middle with a candle and a fucking cat falling down in the background.
Yeah.
It still felt like 2D space when you're
Yeah,
looking at
yeah.
it. Like that's his
That's
formula.
That's his,
yeah. So it's hard to get into the world itself.
Yeah.
Unless you do dollies in and zooms and that.
Yeah.
But it's like constructed each frame. So like when you cut that fast in these kind of harsh constructed frames, I don't know,
jarring.
yeah, it is jarring. Yeah. I like the scenes didn't flow like good banter you'd see in like a movie from the 50s or something where the hard-boiled guys, the detectives and stuff going, "Hey, Jimmy, fuck you, da 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 da."
Yeah.
You know, and the camera.
Hey, Jimmy, did you beat your wife today? I did.
Of course. What are you crazy? And you know, then you're in it, and they got good back and forth. But here, I found the cuts, especially in that just TV section.
Yeah.
Okay, head on, boom, 45, boom, close up, boom, here,
Yeah.
boom, fast, ding, 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 and I don't know, it wasn't a good flow I found
Right.
in that scene at least.
Yeah.
Because if they wouldn't have done that talk show segment, then I would argue that the frequency of the cuts and the length of the scenes were probably reflecting or trying to mimic the pacing of the writing, right? The length of the sentence, the amount of periods, the amount of punctuation. Because when you write action, typically you write shorter sentences with more full stops to create
Yeah.
pace. But so that would make sense in the Cook one because there's a gunfight and everything. But then there's no excuse for there to be that much cutting during the talk show segment.
Yeah. And also, like you said, why is there even a talk show segment?
Yeah.
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 Other than the two shit, I don't really
Yeah.
care about
Yeah.
it at all.
And like, you'd think, okay, he had this idea for a talk show segment. That's a fun way to tell the story
Yeah.
through an interview like that. But then you'd want something so visually dynamic or so impressive to the eye in that scene that you go, okay, it's justified. Even if it's not part of the story, even if it has nothing to do with anything, at least it's amazingly beautiful.
Yeah.
Here we get like a 70s
Yeah.
like palette, just a cloth background and 3 angles of
Yeah.
it. Like I was not impressed by that, and even the art exhibition at the museum where
Yeah.
what's her name is presenting the thing. Okay, we get the wide one, we get a close one, and a zoom out where we see TV monitors, which is
Yeah,
a cool
on
shot.
the bottom end.
That's
yeah.
a cool shot, but I mean,
I don't need to see it 10 times.
yeah, was
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
whole thing worth those 3 angles
Yeah.
to put that
Not at
5-minute
all.
segment in?
I think the longest shots we got were during the travel guide.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
for
a,
sure.
There's a few. The one that comes to mind specifically is when he starts and he says ennui starts abruptly on a Monday morning or whatever, and
Yeah.
then they just hold on
That
that
is
one
sick.
street for like
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah, that is sick.
That I like.
I guess that's the only really long shot
Yeah.
of the whole movie. Other than following him on the
his
bike.
Yeah,
But that's the only static long
Yeah.
shot of the whole movie.
and it was one of my favorites.
Yeah,
is cool.
it was up there for sure.
Were you guys transported into the world, or was it more of a viewing kind of experience for you guys?
That's a good question. What do you want to say about that?
I felt transported. I
Yeah.
felt like Wes Anderson did a good job at mimicking how a reader visualizes the story they're reading.
100% agree.
When there's no dialogue, like in that scene we're talking about on just that street, even if there's no dialogue, I can write my own story to it. I can picture the words that I would be reading to create that image. And when there is dialogue, the images mimic perfectly what I probably would have imagined if I was reading the article for real.
Yeah.
So to me, I was transported into the world with that degree of separation of the world being in my mind because I'm reading this article, not the world actually existing.
Yeah.
I agree, but I also, for the Chalamet one specifically, I felt pretty transported into that.
Yeah, I think
That
that,
kind of
yeah,
world.
yeah,
Because I know a lot of people like that. Well, not revolutionaries, but like pretentious,
yeah,
protester kind of, Marxist, manifesto writing philosophy students, But also it was like I was saying at the very beginning, it's like the surreal aspects of each that make it its own little universe. I really loved it because it was so subtle. Because for the Chalamet one, it's like the surreal thing for me was like, okay, they negotiate using chess.
Yeah.
They don't tell you that, but they're playing chess against the mayor in front of these blockades, and it's
Yeah.
like, I guess the chess thing is the only way to negotiate. That's how you talk. That's how you do these things, and it's like very weird, you know. And I like that a lot. The one from the first story. What was the first story?
The painting, the art.
The paintings. Actually, I don't remember what's super surreal about that, but I don't know. There's just like these little things that make it not real. Like the Nescafe chef for the commissioner, police commissioner. I feel like that's a normal thing in the world of this movie, you know?
Yeah.
But not ours. And for me, that kind of brought me in a little bit because I liked it. But other than that, no, not really.
Yeah.
Like Lee said, I felt like I was reading an article.
Okay, yeah.
And I think it's an effective movie in that sense, but I wasn't transported into Ennui, France, you know? But yeah, what about you?
I'd say the same thing. I wasn't brought into the world itself.
Yeah.
I was watching this world created, but the whole time I knew it was like super romanticized versions. I knew I was like, even if this place was real, I wasn't seeing it for itself. I was seeing it through Wes Anderson's like bias that he went to France on vacation and saw the nice canal and wrote the story. But
the thing is, it's like, for me, it's like, I felt like it was a lot like Montreal. Because for me, I grew up at least with a lot of, I don't want to say Montreal journalism, but like, you know, Montreal's a city where there's a lot of things that happened in it that are all part of journalism history, you know?
Okay.
And I felt, I don't know, like last month I bought this fucking book of photographs used in journalism in Montreal.
Oh, yeah?
And it just felt like that movie. I don't know. It's a very fucking, I found it at the fucking thrift shop for like $1. That's probably the best find I've ever found because there's just all these amazing photographs from journalism history in Montreal, and I just felt that with this film.
That's cool.
Yeah. Also, we live in a French city, so.
Well, but not only that, I mean, Montreal is the Paris of North America.
Yeah. It's the most Euro city in North America.
You guys haven't been to Hamilton.
Ontario. Yeah, the Tumo.
I mean, revolution, cuisine, and art is just as part of Montreal as it is of
France,
massively.
Just less hockey in France. Less hockey, less organized crime.
Yeah. Less fried foods.
Less fried foods.
What did you guys think about the music in it?
Loved it.
Oh yeah.
Loved every second of it.
Loved every second.
I like the music, but I the thing is, I didn't notice the music a lot. You know, it wasn't like Dune. I noticed the music every time it played.
Yeah, well, it's just bass throughout the entire thing.
Bass.
That's the best scene in
the fucking best scene in the whole movie. But this movie, I didn't notice the music as much. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
I noticed it every time.
Yeah?
And the first time I watched it, I kept noticing, especially during the art story, when they cut between the museum talk and the actual article story.
Yeah.
They don't cut on beat for the music. And the music stops and starts abruptly off beat.
Okay.
And I found that it completely annoying the first time. The second time, I was like, whatever, that's okay. It didn't bother me as much.
Okay.
But the first time, every single time it happened, I kept fucking just kind of like wincing a bit. Like, I don't...
Fuck
why
that.
are you doing that?
7 frames that way would have been perfect on the effing beat.
They can't fucking line up sound waves on fucking Adobe Premiere with the shots, bro. Like, come on.
I mean, if you're gonna have music and you're gonna cut to a new scene where the music stops dead.
Yeah.
Like they were cutting like in the middle of a note, in the middle of a beat. They were cutting, you know, at like the most
really
awkward. Yeah.
I
Like if
didn't notice.
you do it once for impact, fine. You know, oh, we changed scenes. That's jarring. It's on purpose. But they did it like 5 times, and I was like, okay. I mean, I'm over it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's 2 different stories, but you don't have to keep. Like you don't have to. I don't know. The division was too stiff.
Yeah. Okay. Like there's times where I did notice the music, but I had to be like, oh, this music's cool, and then I completely forgot about it the next second.
Yeah.
You know.
It kind of just weaves in and out.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
I find you notice it most in that first kind of travelogue, and then after that it's
Yeah.
just background.
Yeah, for sure.
Then
for
you're not
sure.
Yeah.
bothered by it at all.
I noticed the travelogue, and the next time I really noticed it was when they're doing the Edward Norton part.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they play like this really French. I love that Edward Norton, when he kidnapped the kid, he walked like a French spy in a fucking cartoon.
Yeah, he had belly shoes and everything.
Yeah,
Belly slippers.
the
on.
whole deal, and he
Yeah.
went like do like a little fucking dumb comic. It was fucking funny. Yeah, what'd you think about the music?
Oh, just that. That it was
Just that.
kind of background stuff. I wasn't impacted by it really.
That's whack.
And-
I literally every single time the music chimed in and chimed out, I fucking noticed it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I never did.
Weird.
I never did. That's weird. I never
Even
did.
so much, I noticed it so much so the first time that when we watched it the second time, I saw it coming.
Oh,
Like, I
really?
literally memorized.
Yeah.
Like Timothy Chalamet would say something, I'm like, oh, here comes the music, and then it starts.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
don't
funny.
even remember what the music sounded like during the whole Chalamet
that's
part.
weird. Well, it's just that same little background jingle, but
Okay.
just like it kept coming in and out, and I noticed it so much the first time. I'd be like, why is it coming in now? Nothing special happened.
Yeah.
Like they're literally in bed, talking, and there's no music, and then there's music, and it just the whole movie was like that. So I kept noticing it. So I'm surprised you guys did.
Yeah. Especially for me, I'm a big fucking
Yeah.
music enjoyer, Chad.
Speaking of music, are we gonna be able to use any of this with the
I mean,
background
we
music
should
that's
be.
been
Yeah, I
playing?
can boost this
Okay,
up.
cool.
And there's, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all I really have to say for now about the movie.
I think it might be hard to find favorite shots or favorite scenes or things.
There's a lot of good
Yeah, there's a lot
favorite
of good, but
stuff.
there's a lot of movement too in the stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, this,
We could do favorite sequence as well.
yeah, that might be it. Like the
Yeah.
shifting style changes.
You know what I think they should have done for the shifting styles
The
is that like have a different style for each article, each story.
that
you know?
might have been yeah.
I think maybe the first one is Owen Wilson, right? I think that's enough style, just following and doing the you
Yeah.
know, exposition of the city or whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine, like as is. But I think for the first story, they should have kept it all color
Okay.
instead of doing black and white for the art shit.
Yeah.
Then Chalamet story,
Black and
do it
white.
all black and white,
Yeah.
except for specific little shots here,
Okay.
like maybe one or two,
Yeah.
where it's like very important lovey-dovey shots then. And for the last one, I think they should have done the whole last one in BD,
Oh,
in
yeah.
cartoon.
That would have been interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty interesting.
I liked all the montage sequences. In the first story, there's the montage of Simone posing naked.
Yeah.
That was my favorite of the first story.
I love that. Oh, dude, you know it was a great shot? Was during that montage
Yeah.
when she has her face all cover girl, like perfectly
Yeah.
make-upped and really close up.
Yeah, with the mosquito.
And it was super beautiful, but then the mosquito's there.
Yeah.
I was like, that's genius. And she looks and blows it away. I was like, that is fucking genius. Because usually they'll have that, it's like cover girl, you know?
Yeah.
That looks perfect. But here there's a little mosquito and she's like, oh, she looks at it, you know? It was fucking great. Yeah. Go on, sorry, I
Yeah.
interrupted you.
And then in the second story, I liked the part at the very end when Timothy and Juliet is the character's name. Zeffirelli and Juliet ride off on the scooter.
How
And
many
it's all
times have you
black.
seen this movie? 2 times in a row or something?
Yeah, they write all Akira like, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like just that this stiff black background was just them and then the lighting of the police siren, the
Yeah.
police lights. I like that. I liked when he got struck by lightning, the little flashing of the.
Yeah.
And when
I
it would
like
change to
that
all
stuff.
blue.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I like those. And then in the last story, the surprisingly the shootout, I didn't like the whole story really about the shootout, but the montage of the actual shootout when they're on the top floor shooting down and the cops are shooting up.
Yeah.
Every shot of that shootout montage was so well composed, I found.
Yeah.
Like, it's very fast, so I would have to pause and whatever. But I felt like those were some of my favorite shots.
Yeah.
Just jumped in, just composition wise.
What about you, Nick?
Is favorite sequence the
Yeah,
question
favorite
that
anything, I
asked?
guess.
Favorite anything?
Yeah.
I did like you guys said, the split screen with the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, I don't know if we needed the travelogue to set the story. Like, we would understand where we are. We might not understand that it's one particular town, but we'd go, okay, it's Greater France. This is an idea of the French, kind of very romantic idea of the French.
Yeah.
But I like kind of the art sequence, color art sequence when Benicio is kind of painting with the colors around him and that.
Yes, with the natural ingredients from the prison.
Those were pretty nice.
Those were cool.
Just color shocking compared to everything else.
Yeah.
But I mean, the movie's so beautiful and the set design is so beautiful. Like everything is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like one frame on a movie like this is there's so much more direction in that one frame.
Yeah.
Than another movie where you go, okay, it's handheld and you guys are gonna punch each other and then we're gonna get the reverse. You guys punch
Like
each
no
other.
matter what you say, the direction is like
Yeah.
not just incredible, but
Yeah.
very like hard working.
Yeah.
You know.
One thing I thought was sick in that art story was where Benicio and his muse are lying on the bed, facing different ways. And when it cuts the reverse angle, the overhead facing down, in reality, it would be like this.
Yeah.
But he puts them on the other side, so that we get the flip flop.
True. Yeah.
It's not.
They
a
flip
actual
positions.
thing. Yeah, I think that might happen a couple times in it. Like another one with the hug. I forget who hugs who. Someone hugs someone at one point, and we cut to the reverse one. I think that's also the guy with the fucked up nose hugging Benicio.
Yeah. Adrian Brody.
Yeah, Adrian Brody, and it cuts to. It's supposed to be the reverse angle, but they're still hugging the same direction, so it looks like just the background kind of changes.
Yeah, like they flip the frame.
Yeah,
A little bit.
Like I think those two moments are my favorite in the movie.
Okay.
Probably just the heads and tails flip. I thought was very
Interesting.
just a very pretty way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys want to talk about kind of?
Oh, I have some favorite sequences.
Oh, that's
huh?
true. You didn't say it
Chop
yet? I thought you
liver.
liked the whole movie.
No, I did like the whole movie, but I have a couple of favorite spots. I like the montage in the first story of Owen Wilson going through the city. I like the montage where he cuts through the old version of the specific spot and the new version of the specific spot.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Butcher's Arcade and now it's like a Metro.
Yeah.
And it's like, those were sick. And he composed each shot the same with the subjects in it. That was sick. For the second story with...
The artist.
I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep forgetting. I'm just like I'm still like thinking of like processing the movie in my head. I like the natural ingredients montage, like you said, but I also love the very first scene of that story, where he's just painting the girl, and we don't know they're in prison yet.
Yes.
Like we have no idea. You know, he's painting her, and like I related a lot to it because I've painted like that a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe not naked women, but.
I like the reveal where you see his painting and it's just an abstract thing.
Yeah, that's a really
that's
great
fun.
reveal.
Yeah.
But I love that you have no idea what the context is, but then when they go back, the bell rings, they go back to their own little changing station, and she's changed back into guard, he's changed back into a prisoner.
Yeah.
And I love when she smacks the brushes away. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
In the second story with Chalamet, I loved the whole chess game at the barricade.
Yeah.
That all the way till the end of that story, or all the way till he smashes a chick. And Timothy says that line where
Don't criticize
my manifesto,
Yeah.
and she said, "Take your clothes off."
Yeah.
That whole thing I loved.
Yeah.
I love the Akira style,
Yeah.
neo noir kind of like motorcycle ride or moped ride with the two lovers. I love the costumes in this movie too. By the way, I love the dressing.
Oh, I want Timothy's suit, man.
Timothy's suit. I want to date a chick that's wearing what Juliet was wearing. The helmet with the goggles, the leather jacket. I thought it was hot. Like I thought it was so cool. But yeah, so that whole sequence I loved, and I'm a gooey romantic cheesy prick, so I liked the whole storyline with those two. And the third story, honestly, it was the food cut. That's it. With the small cut
Yeah.
on the side, even if I don't understand shit,
Yeah.
I like the idea there. And yeah, that's my favorite scenes and
Well, I think
sequences.
that food one is a good example of a place where subtitles and like meaning doesn't matter, and it's just for style's sake.
Yeah, because I don't need to know the details of their battle plan.
Exactly, yeah.
I just need to know that they're doing one. That's
Yeah.
really it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what's weird is that now that you bring that up, Wes Anderson usually does that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't add the details. He just gives you a general idea of what's happening,
Yeah.
and you've already figured it out on your own, and without giving monotonous details about their battle plans.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised he did. You know?
I think like as viewers now, like we've seen this kind of genre so many times.
Yeah.
We know what's going to happen anyway. So we
Yeah.
know, okay, this is the guy, this is double cross, this is that, they're going to break in here. Like we can fill in the gaps and we go, okay, it's a heist or something. Like
Yeah.
that's all you need to know, and you, like
Yeah.
the generic conventions
Yeah.
fill themselves out.
Because even then, we see their battle plan after. You
Yeah.
know, we see what they tried to do. You know, so. So what are you gonna say before you chop livered me into my sequencing?
I'm not sure now. I don't remember. Oh, it was about the second story there. I found the second, or the Revolution story.
Yeah.
I find that more of kind of like a Godard kind of. Ooh, I like
Very
Godard.
Godard.
More
Very,
than,
very Godard,
Yeah, more
yeah.
than a journalist thing or
Okay.
anything to do with journalism. It was
I
more like,
100% agree with you.
yeah, like
Yeah.
oh, I've seen a masculin féminin or something, and I wanna fucking
The
hop on
hairdos,
here.
too.
Yeah, or I forget the name of the
The
proper
constant
movie is,
smoking too.
Yeah,
And drinks. Yeah. Very Jean-Luc
fucking
Godard.
movie.
I don't think I've ever seen a Godard.
They're pretty
French-
good. There's some good ones.
Yeah.
French
There's
New
some
Wave
good ones, yeah.
movies. Yeah.
But then some are just so extreme in style also where you go, no point even.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
it's more of an essay than a movie or anything. I forget the fucking name of the movie. There's one, Made in USA maybe?
Oh.
Something
Fuck if I
like
can remember
that.
what his movies are called.
Yeah, I think it's Made in USA.
Okay.
And it's the same thing, like a revolutionary school kids like that.
Okay.
I felt it was very, very similar to something like that. But also kind of funny, like Godard and those guys would be, okay, we're going to go out in the world and shoot in the fucking, in the alleys, in the streets
Yeah.
and stuff. But then a movie like this, it's so studio based. They go, okay, we're going to get out, we're going into the studio and we're building everything in the studio.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I just thought that he's kind of referencing this style, but doing it in the studio, like rather than like against its kind
Right.
of moral. And what was that one? That's all about Manifesto too. That one.
Is it?
Is
It's
that
been a
the one?
long time since I watched
Made in
Godard
USA?
films, bro.
Or no, I mean the second story there.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it wasn't about the manifest, but it was like an
Yeah.
item in
So
the.
like these kind of French New Wave filmmakers would have their manifesto on. Okay, this
It's
is how
true.
movies.
Yeah.
This is how they're supposed to be made.
Wasn't there an actual manifesto for French
Yeah.
New Wave film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was all that get out of the studio, use real people and
Yeah.
stuff. So like he's referencing this, but doing it the complete 180.
But all in the
as
studio.
To,
Yeah.
what the manifesto was.
I guess in that sense, he's also making fun of French New Wave film.
Probably, yeah. And that's
Yeah.
with all the style changing and all the style shift too.
Plus the black and white.
Yeah. And
know.
even cutting to color. And back
You
and
know what I
forth.
like to see? Is at the end of the movie, fucking Timothée Chalamet loses the camera, fin, like 400 coups. You know what I mean?
You didn't want a long, slow zoom in, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
zoom out, maybe.
Who did Holy Motors?
What the fuck is that? I don't know. I have no idea what that
Do
is.
you know what that is?
No. Name rings a bell, but no.
Leos Carax. He did Annette that came out recently, where Adam Driver famously sings during cunnilingus.
For the vibrations of that.
Yeah, something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Holy Motors is a fucking weird movie. Anyways, now I'm just talking about movies.
So, you guys want to move on to ratings?
Yeah, I think we should.
All right.
You should.
Dante,
You want me
please.
to start?
Please. I want
I
to see
give
how
it-
high this fucking rating is going to be.
I give it an 8.5 out of 10.
8.5. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's nowhere near as high I thought you were
No,
gonna
I
go.
thought
Yeah?
you were giving that a 10.
Dude, 8.5 is still like an amazing movie to me.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was expecting at least a 9 from you.
Yeah.
No, a 9 is like, you gotta be one of my, maybe on my third watch, I'll give it a 9.
Okay.
But especially after like we've talked about it, at first it was a 9. First
okay.
watch,
Yeah.
actually no, second watch. Just after we finished second watch, it was definitely a 9 for me.
Okay.
But then Nick pointed out some pretty good points about it, especially with the investment of the characters and these kind of things there. Where I'm like, okay, dock it off about 0.5. And also, like, I didn't notice the music ever, and I love music. What else? Chalamet's performance was just kind of him being Chalamet.
Yeah.
It was very, very fast paced. No long shots, which I kind of like slower movies. But you're saying conceptually, I think it's a 10. Like concept, it's very cohesive. You know, it's about
as well.
What
execution.
Execution of the concept's amazing. And it's about journalism, newspapers, France, art, and he ties everything perfectly together. And every artistic decision he made in the movie is part of that theme. Is a part of that the experience of what he's trying to get at with this movie, or the subject of the film. You know, so that in that respect, I think it's an amazing movie. You know, so I give it 8.5 out of 10 because for me, if you get a 9 or a 10, you have to be the best movie of all time level. You know,
But didn't you give Mulholland Drive 10?
I give Mulholland Drive a 9.
You give it a 9.
I think I give it a 9.
Have you ever given a 10 on the podcast?
Not on the
before?
pod, but
No.
there's I think there's one,
Acura?
maybe 2. What?
Acura?
Acura's not a 10.
No.
No. I don't think I even gave Acura a 10. I gave it like an 8.5.
No, maybe not.
What-
Outside of
Yeah.
podcast, 2001: A Space Odyssey is a 10 for me.
Is it 10?
Yeah.
Probably.
Spirited Away, just because it's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
I might give Blade Runner 2049 a 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's still like, I'm not so sure
You have
about
to
that.
See it a few more times.
No, I don't need to see it any more times.
Oh,
I've
no.
seen it plenty of times.
Okay.
But I think it's just it needs to Blade Runner 2049 needs to marinate. It's too new for me to give it a 10.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I think bro, I straight up, you guys can quote me on this in the fucking future. 40 years, 40 years, Blade Runner 2049 is going to be looked at like 2001's looked at today. I guarantee it. It's crazy, yeah. But 8.5 out of 10. And if you guys don't know our rating scale, a 5 is an average movie. That's how we rate it. So if we give something a 5, it just means it's like an okay average movie. It's watchable,
Yeah,
you know.
it's not good, it's not bad.
It's not good, not bad. It's just a plain old movie, you know. Above that, like what would say 6 is a decent movie.
Yeah, 6 is good.
6 is a good movie, you know.
Yeah.
7's a really good movie.
Yeah.
8 is a pretty damn fucking good movie,
Yeah.
amazing movie. 9 is verging on incredible.
Yeah.
Like
10
very few movies get 9s
Yeah.
over here, you know.
10 is just
10's a goated movie.
perfect or
fantastic.
sentimental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm giving The French Dispatch an 8.
An 8, okay.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it the second time. I'm probably gonna watch it again. I'm probably gonna like it again. So I don't know. That's
Yeah.
an 8.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in between on Wes Anderson movies overall, like
Yeah.
his filmography as it goes. Like you see his style become more intense coming into
Yeah.
this movie, and I don't know if it needed to keep increasing in volume. I like
Intensity too.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Budapest Hotel, the Grand Budapest Hotel. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I think it's fun and funny,
Hilarious,
and
too.
quaint. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you go, oh, this is cute, you know.
Yeah, but he doesn't have it turned up to 11 like
No,
this
exactly.
movie.
Yeah. But I don't know if it needed the 11 kind of thing.
No.
Right.
So I'm kind of already over the hump a bit with Wes Anderson
Yeah.
style and like not storytelling, but just story traits that he throws into all the kind of stories. Like Steve Zissou too is fun, but yeah, I mean, just kind of what we were saying with the stories being so condensed and so quick, and the style being a little jarring at times and kind of forced sometimes. 7.5. I'm
Okay.
gonna give it a 7.5.
That's still great. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's all set design,
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much. Like, we didn't talk about it much because it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful and so well done.
Yeah.
Like, that's crafted like Fellini and Satyricon or something, where it's so tuned in. There's no critique you can give on the set design or or the
Composition.
And even
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
even if it wasn't perfect,
yeah.
it's such a big breath of fresh air to have
Yeah.
practical effects like it does in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. No, it really is. Yeah. And miniatures and all kinds of fun
whole
little
line,
things.
yeah.
There was stop motion too in the shootout scene.
Yeah.
Like, that's fun to throw in.
Yeah.
You don't see those kind of techniques used. I thought it was a great movie for the look of it. Just the story itself, I wasn't kind of captivated by.
Yeah. See, I'm not captivated by it, by story. It's more as a art piece.
Yeah.
I'm very captivated by it, not
Yeah.
narratively, you know.
I agree.
Conceptually, it's fucking incredible. You know? But narratively, it's just a normal, not a very interesting story. Except for the stories themselves, the little stories are very interesting. But as a movie, it's not plot.
Yeah.
What's interesting about this movie is not the plot. It's the artistic concept behind it.
Yeah.
You know.
I think for me it could also be the set of it too, where it's set. Like, I'm not nostalgic, or I don't feel a big connection to this kind of romantic France, Ratatouille kind of old world thing. I'm not.
Oui, oui,
drawn
baguette,
into-
escargot.
Exactly, yeah. I'm not super drawn into. So maybe if that was something I was into, I'd go, "Fuck, this is amazing."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this is sick. Or if it was, I don't know, some other thing. Like, I don't mind little vignettes of stories where kind of thing happens. It's slice of life, kind of just picture pieces. If I'm kind of into the thing, but that's just me then.
Right.
Like, if this was set somewhere else, I go, "Oh, this is fucking sick."
You know what'd be interesting?
But it's just
Is if each story was set in a different place.
that'd be cool. Yeah,
Yeah, I might have actually liked that more.
yeah. If it was a
Traveling newspaper.
Well, some newspapers talk about shit in different countries, you know?
Yeah.
Happens all the
well,
time.
I mean, it's technically a Kansas newspaper,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So that's what, you said 7.5?
7.5, I'm giving it.
Yeah,
So
so-
7.5, 8.5, 8,
yeah.
8.
So I guess as a group, it's an 8.
Yeah,
Perfect.
That's fair.
I win again.
Lee is the most objective person here. So yeah,
Well, thanks for listening. YouTube, Spotify, iTunes,
Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, Monolith Film Pod. If you're listening already, though, you probably know us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like the background music, hit us up. It's a local band that's performing. We like to support the local bit going nowhere.
Speaking of local bands, we'll talk about this after.